Dear students, this is my fifth video in the series Misconceptions in Chemistry. Earlier four videos were about misconceptions in physical chemistry and they are very well available on YouTube. This fifth one is about misconceptions in inorganic chemistry and today's topic is calculation of crystal field stabilization energy, that is CFSE, for an octahedral complex. So before I actually come to the point where misconceptions lie, it is better to have a brief revision of the fundamentals of crystal field splitting and calculation of crystal field stabilization energy for those metal ion configurations where there is no confusion at all. So let us begin with a metal atom or ion containing one or more electrons in its d subshell, the orbitals of which are going to interact with the six monodentate ligands in order to form an octahedral complex. You know, all the five d orbitals are degenerate or of equal energy in the free metal ion as I'm representing that by situation A. But on account of symmetry, these five types of d orbitals are further classified into two categories: the dx square minus y square and dz square orbitals, whose lobes are such that axes pass through them, are known as axial orbitals and denoted by the symbol Eg. Similarly, dxy, dyz, and dzx orbitals are called planar d orbitals. Their lobes lie between the axes, and on account of symmetry, they are represented by the symbol T2G. These three are degenerate orbitals, triply degenerate, and EG are doubly degenerate orbitals. Well, when this metal atom or ion is approached by six monodentate ligands, then on account of repulsion between the electrons of the d orbitals and the negative charge of the ligands, the energy of the system as a whole increases slightly and metal ion comes to the stage B, where we are giving average energy of d orbitals in a spherical crystal field. But mind it, the five d orbitals are still degenerate. Now, when these six ligands come very close to the five types of d orbitals, then on account of unequal repulsions, which Eg orbitals experience more than T2G orbitals, because Eg orbitals are just in front of the ligands as compared to T2G orbitals. So this degeneracy is lost. And the five d orbitals split up into two levels. Eg orbitals occupy higher energy level in comparison to the average energy, which is represented by Bari center. And T2G orbitals occupy lower energy level. So this situation is represented by C. What happens here that each Eg orbital goes up from the barycenter by an amount of energy equivalent to 3 by 5 delta O, where what is delta O? The energy difference between Eg level and T2G level. And this delta O is known as crystal field splitting, and its value depends upon mainly the nature of the ligands besides the nature of metal and other factors. But the main factor is the nature of ligand. For stronger ligands, delta O is larger. For weak ligand, delta O is is smaller. Well, each easy orbital occupies a place higher than barycenter by an amount of energy equal to 3 by 5 delta O, and each T2G orbital occupies a place which is lowering its energy by an amount of energy equal to 2 by 5 delta O. What is the significance of this split? Significance is this one, that if you put a electron in T2G orbital, then an energy equivalent to 0.4 delta O is released. On the other hand, if you put the electron in a EZ orbital, then the energy equivalent to 0.6 delta O is absorbed. So we have to fill up these orbitals by the number of electrons which were originally present with the metal ion in accordance with Hund's maximum multiplicity principle, also obeying Pauli's exclusion principle. So let us see what happens for the metal ions having configuration from D1 to D2, D3, then D8, D9, and D10. I'm deliberately not discussing presently the metal ions having configuration D4, 5, 6, and 7, because that is the actual point where confusion or misconception lie. So, first of all, let us see how to calculate CFSE for a metal ion with configuration D1 or D2 or D3 or D8 or D9 or D10. CFSE is calculated by the formula minus 0.4 T2Gn plus 0.6 EZm times delta O, where n and m are number of electrons in T2G and EZ orbitals respectively. Mind it that in these metal ions with these 6 configurations, it is a material whether ligands are strong or weak. Of course, numerical value of CFSE will depend upon the numerical value of delta O. So let us begin with D1 configuration. For example, titanium plus 3 ion. It has got only one electron in the d orbital. Therefore, its configuration in the ligand field will be T2G 100 EZ00, and therefore CFSE will be minus 0.4 into 1 plus 0.6 into 0 times delta O. That comes out to be minus 0.4 times delta. Similarly, for D2 configuration, for example, B plus 3, the CFSE will be minus 0.8 delta. For D3, chromic ion Cr plus 3, now there are 3 electrons in the d orbitals. These 3 electrons, whether ligands are strong or weak, will occupy the 3 T2G orbitals having this configuration T2G111 EZ00, and therefore CFSE will be minus 1.2 times delta O. Now we come to D8 configuration, represented by nickel plus 2. There are 8 electrons in the d orbitals. If suppose ligands are weak, then these 8 electrons will be put up in these orbitals one by one. First one electron in T2G, then second also in T2G, third in T2G, fourth will go in EG, fifth will also go in EG, then sixth will make a pair in T2G, seventh will make a pair in T2G, eighth will also make a pair in T2G, and this will be the configuration. However, if ligands are strong, then T2G orbitals will be filled first with the 6 electrons. Remaining 2 will occupy EZ orbitals. So we see that configuration remains the same whether ligands are strong or weak, and CFSE comes out to be minus 1.2 delta O. Mind it, for D3 and D8, we are having the same CFSE formula. Numerically, they are going to be different because it all depends upon delta O as well as the nature of the metal ion. Well, similarly, for D9, where the example is cupric ion, configuration becomes E2G222, EZ21, CFSE comes out to be minus 0.6 delta O. And for D10, zinc ion, where all the orbitals will be occupied completely, CFSE comes out to be 0. So we have seen calculation of CFSE for 6 configurations D1, D2, D3, D8, D9 and D10. Let us now consider the situation for D4 metal ion. A metal ion having 4 electrons in its d orbitals. That is a important point. And now the misconception or confusion will come into the picture. So when we consider metal ion having 4 electrons in its d orbitals, the 3 electrons will obviously go into the T2G orbitals, whether ligands are strong or weak. The question is about fourth electron, where it will go. If it goes into T2G to make a pair, then it has to overcome the repulsion from the existing electron in T2G. This requires absorption of energy, P, called electron pair energy, to overcome that repulsion. So we come across following two types of situations. We have following two options. First one is, if delta O is more than P, it is a strong ligand field. Then obviously electron will form a pair in T2G. But if delta O is less than P, means the field is weak. Complex consists of weak ligands. Then this electron will occupy one of the easy orbitals. So this logic will be applicable for all, I mean to say, D4, D5, D6 and D7 configurations. Let us see how. So for that, go to page number 4. Here we find a table. So this is D4. Example is Cr plus 2. The first case, delta O less than P, weak ligand. The electronic configuration will be T2G111. Since the field is weak, so fourth electron will obviously go into easy orbital, making the configuration T2G111 EZ1, and CFSE will come out to be minus 0.6. Now consider the reverse. If delta O is more than P, ligands are strong, then all the 4 electrons will occupy T2G orbital such that one of the T2G orbital will have a pair. So the configuration will be T2G211 EZ00 and CFSE will be minus 0.4 into 4 plus 0.6 into 0 times delta O plus P. That is minus 1.6 delta O plus P. Similarly, if we consider D, example can be Mn plus 2. Again, if delta O is less than P, weak ligand field, then the configuration will be T2G111 EZ11 and CFSE comes out to be 0. On the other hand, if delta O is more than P, ligands are strong like cyanide or carbon monoxide, then the configuration shall be T2G221EZ00. All the 5 electrons will occupy T2G level, and hence CFSE will be minus 0.4 into 5 plus 0.6 into 0 times delta O, and this is minus 2.0 delta O plus. Proceeding on these lines, let us see what will happen when we come to D6 configuration. So in case of D6 configuration, for example, ferrous iron, let us break up the discussion into 2 parts. First of all, consider if delta O is less than P, a weak ligand field, then 6 electrons will make the configuration this one, E2G, 211, EZ11, and CFSE will be minus 0.4 delta O. But here is a word of caution. That is the first point of confusion. I have seen many students write CFSE equal to minus 0.4 delta O plus P. Don't add P wherever you find a pair of electrons. If you put P here, then what will happen? This is wrong. Why this is wrong? Because then CFSE will become positive, which is impossible for a stable complex. For example, consider this hexa-epo iron second complex ion, for which data are available. Delta O is 10,500 centimeter inverse. An electron pair energy is 17,600 centimeter inverse. Hence, on the basis of minus 0.4 delta O plus P, net CFSE comes out to be plus 13,400 centimeter inverse. Taking 1000 centimeter inverse to be approximately equal to 12 kilojoule per mole, this can be converted and this comes out to be plus 160.8 kilojoule per mole. CFSE can never be positive. It can be, of course, 0, as we have already seen. Otherwise, it is always negative. In order to explain the stability of the complex, CFSE is never positive. So this is highly, highly improbable. That's why this one is wrong. This one is correct. We have to calculate CFSE for Fe plus 2 H2O whole 6 complex by the formula minus 0.4 delta O. Let us consider the next situation for the same ion where the ligands are strong. So what happens in that case? This is on page 6. So here we are going to consider delta O more than P. What will happen now? Ligands are strong. So all the 6 electrons will occupy T2G orbitals. EZ will remain vacant. And CFSE will come out to be minus 2.4 delta O plus 2P. I have added 2, not 3P. This is wrong. Why this is wrong? Because one pair of electron would also be present in the spherical ion or free metal ion. We know Fe plus 2 has the configuration 3d6. So in 5 types of d orbital, one pair is bound to be present. So how can we have 3p here? We have to write only extra pairs, the forced pairs, which are only 2. Actually, CFSE is the energy difference between the d electrons in the spherical ion and d electrons in the field. Thus, one pair of electrons is there in weak ligand field, but in a strong ligand field, there are two extra pairs or force pair for Fe+2 ion with the strong ligands, and CFHE will be minus 2.4 delta O plus 2p and not minus 2.4 delta O plus 3. Let us go for D7 configuration. What happens in that case? In D7, example can be cobalt plus 2 ion. One thing more I would like to mention here that numerically the CFSE value for FeCN64 minus hexacyanidopyrrate second comes out to be more negative with the help of former formula than the latter, indicating high stability of this complex. Now proceeding on these lines, now we can write for D7 cobalt second. Again the two cases, if delta O is less than P, CFSE will be minus 0.8 delta O. There are 7 electrons. So configuration in case of weak ligand will be 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. But if ligands are strong, delta O is more than P, then 6 electrons will obviously occupy all the T2G orbitals and the remaining electron will go into one of the easy orbitals. So CFSE will be minus 1.8 delta O plus only 1p. Why only 1p? Because two pairs are bound to be there. They are already present in the metal ion or in the symmetrical field of the metal ion or in the weak ligand field. The force pair in a strong ligand field is only 1, and therefore it is CFSE is minus 1.8 delta O plus P and not minus 1.8 delta O. So if we calculate CFSE for the complex, say hexamine cobalt second, with the help of the known data, delta O equal to 23,000 centimeter inverse, an electron pair energy equal to 22,500 centimeter inverse, then CFSE will come out to be, on the basis of correct formula, it is minus 227 kilojoule per mole, while on the basis of this wrong formula, this will come out to be plus 313 kilojoule per mole. I think this discussion explains or removes all the misconceptions regarding calculation of CFSE for the metal ions having configuration D4, D5, D6 and D7. Because you have seen for the other configurations, there is no problem whether ligands are strong or weak. There is no question of addition of any electron pair energy. That doesn't come into the picture for those configurations. Also remember, there is no evidence for crystal field splitting for D0 configuration. That's why we consider only, or we consider configurations from D1 to D10, not at all D0. Because when there are no electrons in the d orbital, how there can be the unequal type of repulsions or repulsions at all. That's all about the removal of this confusion or misconceptions. Thank you. Thank you very much.